I was to evaluate let's take the news networks, right? Let's go as CP24, the constant propaganda 24. That's what I call them because that's right. CTV. If we trace back to where they're all owned by Bell, right? And then if we go back into the other news networks, they're owned by Rogers. Then we have the CBC. I mean, going back to what we were just saying, do you think that those are really the things that are pulling the strings right now in terms of how the narratives are going in
I
society?
think everything is connected, and like you guys are talking about all these politicians. I recently started to know a few of them or whatever. Not to know them personally, but I mean to kind of listen to what they're all saying and stuff like that. I don't think they have any power. I think who's really in power are the billionaires of the world. I think they've always been like the Rockefellers or Pfizer, owned by BlackRock and Vanguard. They also own the media outlets.
Yeah.
All the politicians that are put into place, I think it's all fake. I think Trudeau being elected is fake. I think Biden being elected is fake. I think this war is fake. I just think everything is fake. Like I honestly do. Like I think this is all orchestrated by people who have real power. Before we had lobbying for corporations, corporations are now running the world. It's not governments. Like governments can't do anything. There's people with way more power than Trudeau, people with way more power than Biden. Like the
Mm.
powers of the world is not in the politicians' hands. I just
Well,
don't believe it anymore.
well, and I think you're right. If you a good example is let's take a look at Florida in the U.S. right now, right? With the don't say I don't understand the phrase of it. Don't say gay bill. It's
Don't
stupid.
say gay, yeah.
Yeah, that is just a way to twist
It's a
the
pejorative.
yeah, it's a way to twist people's thinking into the
Yeah.
but like for those who don't know what the hell it is, basically it's a bill that DeSantis, who I think is a gangster by the way, I like that guy a lot, put
Yeah, I
into
like
play that you can't teach people kids from kindergarten to grades 3 anything about sexual gender orientation, etc., etc. Which I completely agree. I have young kids. I know, Chris does too, and so does Jay.
Mhm.
Um, like I don't want my kid learning any of that from K to 3, right? And that's my so I agree with the bill, but then let's look at who's pushing back against it. Well, it's not necessarily the LGBT, whatever the fuck other letters there are, right? I don't know them, but it's Disney.
Wow.
It's fucking Disney. It's Walt Disney. Walt
Yeah.
Disney has now taken a position where they are saying we are going to push back against a piece of law.
But
When
Disney is in the World Economic Forum as well, aren't they?
well, I would put money on it, but my
Yeah.
point being is why is a corporation getting involved in lawmaking? They're
Well,
not. Sorry, go
can
ahead, Jay.
can I throw my hand in there?
Yeah,
This is not a new thing. This is historical.
yeah, I know.
Hudson's Bay Company, one of the oldest corporations in Canada. They're the company that helped establish Canada as a nation. Um, I
India
believe,
Trading Company.
yeah, right. Um, so you have to look at it like it has always been the case that people with capital run things. The reason being, if there's no money to start things, there's no money to pay for advertisement. If there's no money to um, get things done, get the ball rolling, to grease the wheel, then nothing happens. Like you
Yeah,
said, you mentioned politicians. Um, the system of government that we have is designed to give you, the person, the everyday person, the feeling that what you say and what you think matters, right? But really and truly, if all of us were put in positions of power and authority, because we know that that's always fleeting and that changes as soon as the government comes in, they bring in some other sets of rules. The best way to manage that is to stack the deck. That's why most people, most organizations, most corporations, they just put money on both piles, right?
yeah,
They don't necessarily only contribute to the liberal, NDP, or conservative. They contribute to all, right? Because if you have everybody in your pocket, it doesn't matter who becomes the running government, right?
Yeah.
And so it's just historically been that way. Like, it's not, I don't look at it like it's a conspiracy or fake. War has always been about potential for money, commerce, the ability to keep money and keep my country from being overrun and being controlled, having people get my assets or my resources, right? And so you said war is fake and stuff like that. I kind of see your point, but I also see that there's just a historic precedent for all these things have always worked this way. And it's only really in the modern age where we have been given, probably in the last 200 years, we've been given this idea that what we want matters and what we say matters, especially us in this part of the world, right? In North America, the Western Hemisphere, we really believe, hey, we have a say, we control what our government does, and then our government makes these other people do these things.